Okay. All right, all right, all right. What do we got over here? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How are you all doing? Whatever you're doing, wherever you're from on this beautiful planet, I hope that you're having a great and wonderful Thursday. Uh, yes, yes, yes. It is day 21 of Consultants Without Borders Growth Clinic. We are back with you. Yesterday we had an internet issue, and today it looks like the internet is working great and there is no more glitches here. That is wonderful. I'm so happy to see this. We're finally kind of ironing out the kinks of this and getting improvements implemented in the system. See, that's the thing. Maybe that's a great idea to talk today. Before, I used to always, like, even until a year and a half ago, even until about a month ago, why am I going too far? Until about a year, 20 days ago, this is episode 21, until about 25 days ago, I realized that I was contemplating creating these daily clinics because I always said, well, I don't have the right setting, I don't have the right tools, I don't have access to the right internet, I don't have access to fast internet. And I kept on bringing all these excuses for myself in terms of what I needed to do for this to be perfect. You know, how do I make this a perfect presentation? And world-class content is definitely what I was aiming for. I was like, this gotta be world-class content, and we gotta just like serve to the next level and bring out the best we got. Until I realized that from our number one mentor, Tony Robbins, perfection is the lowest standard. And I realized that all this time I've been just contemplating launching this and kicking this into gear because I was really just trying to create perfection. And by the way, what is perfection? That's why we call perfection the lowest standard, because realistically, we don't even know what is perfect. How do I know what is perfect? And by the way, what is perfect to me today is not the same as what it was perfect to me last year or what it will be to me a year from now. Great. Just, yes, bring all the noise. This is literally what I'm trying to tell you. Perfection is setting the bar for such a low standard because it is just an idea that lives inside our minds in terms of what is perfect. And again, just think about it. What was perfect to you last year is not the same as it was 10 years ago. And it's definitely not going to be the same as today or 10 years from now. So it's all just very relative. It's just such a like weird, hazy line in the sand when we want to actually set for and aim perfection before we actually execute and pull the trigger. So maybe let's talk about a little bit of perfectionism today, because so many people want to be perfect. And why do we want to be perfect before we actually do anything in our lives, before we launch the product, before we launch our course, before we actually apply for the next position that we know we can actually earn more through and be able to serve more through? The reason we actually do that is because we want significance at a human psychological level. Every human wants to be recognized and to be respected and to be looked up to in some respect, in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of times we think if we do something prematurely, if we launch our product, if we launch our services, if we launch our message too early, it's not going to be perfect. People are not going to accept it. People are not going to like it. People are not going to receive it the same way that I will be wanting for them to get value out of this. Meanwhile, this is all just living inside our own minds. So this was the point. On day 21, I'm finally getting to fix the internet connection. Took 21 days. Thank you, by the way, if any of you came along on this ride, because you came for the message despite the fact that our video was freezing so many times. So I want to have this conversation with you. So many lives in the past 21 years, 21 days of this show alone has been touched, and I'm so honored, because just getting the ball rolling was the most important thing that I could have done and you can do for your own life right now. I want to challenge you and invite you, please, my friend, no matter where you are at today, don't take that complacency pill. Don't swallow that contemplation pill, and don't settle. Be grateful for everything you have today instead of focusing on what you don't have. And don't settle for anything that you have today, and aim for more than what you have, because you gotta believe in your heart of hearts that you are capable of experiencing and achieving a lot more. And if you doubt that, I'm here to tell you that you are. 100% you are. Whatever occurrence is going through your mind in terms of, am I really able to materialize this life that I envision, that I dream? Yes, you can. Yes, you are. Don't doubt yourself. Nothing should happen for you to feel like this is it, this is a sign. If you were waiting for a sign, this is the sign, okay? If you were waiting for a sign, this is the sign. Get your move on, stop contemplating, and believe in yourself that, yes, you may not be the strongest person, the richest person, the healthiest person today, but getting there, the journey is what matters, not the destination. Because who you become in the process, see, it is the process of becoming that everybody is trying to avoid and everybody wants to go on. The hero's journey is the journey of becoming. And it eventually actually becomes the becoming when you keep on overcoming. Overcoming what? The obstacles, the stuff that are stopping you and are preventing you from taking the steps necessary to become the new version of yourself that you want to be. That 95% that we keep on referring back to as the software program inside our mind that is operating our lives on a minute-to-minute, second-to-second basis at a subconscious level, that is the same as it was yesterday, today as it was yesterday, 95% identical in the thoughts we have, in the feelings we feel, and in the things we do and don't do. And it's a 100% truth that when you keep on living in a familiar past today, which is 95% the same as today, you can only expect a predictable future. 95% of my future tomorrow is going to be the same as it was today, which is the same as it was yesterday. So this is where the kicker comes. You want a different life, you want a different outcome, you want a different experience, you gotta change your 95% of thoughts, feelings, and things that you do. And here's the thing, everybody just wants to go right to doing. You know, oh, I'm not doing enough workout, I'm not doing enough studying, I'm not doing enough generating revenue. But the thing is, you cannot go to the doing or not doing first, because the doing and not doing in our day-to-day lives actually is a byproduct of our feelings. How we feel dictates what we do or what we don't do. If we feel energized, when we feel energized, we naturally just want to get our move on and get things done. When you're energized, you just want to walk, you just want to step around, you just want to move. You're not sitting down in one spot, you're not actually being idle, you're getting things done. Even if it means you're not making money, or you're not connecting, or you're not doing what's good for you, you're still energized and you're moving, you're walking, you're getting going to the kitchen, you're getting something and actually moving things around. But when you're low in energy, when you feel like life is not happening for you and everything is just like hitting me at once, I feel like I'm Neo in the Matrix, just like literally dodging bullets, like bullets going by, zooming by me. When you feel like that, then what occurs is your body naturally doesn't want to move, because it feels overwhelmed, because it feels like there's too much danger out there. When you're feeling like life is just beautiful, everything is great, the birds are singing, somebody's birthday's coming up, it's my anniversary, excitement builds up, you're not thinking, you're not focusing on what is not available, you're focusing on what is, which is the happiness, the excitement, the joy, then you can easily move yourself. See, the difference between people that do things and people that don't do things, which, by the way, when you don't do anything, a lot of people are like thinking in their mind, if I don't do this right now, I'm actually avoiding this, which means I'm just not going to get into it. But by virtue, the decision not to actually do anything is still an action in and of its own. So even when you decide not to do anything, you're still making a conscious decision to actually commit yourself to an action, which is going to have a 100% consequence. Every decision we have and we make in our lives, even at a conscious level, without even executing on it, it has 100% consequences. It's the ripple effect. Like, have you ever thrown a stone in the water, like in a lake, and you see like how the circles start going out, and they just like, as they go, they just go out. And the funny thing is, the circles actually hit a wall, hit the stone, a piece of stone. And what happens when they hit the wall and the stone? They end up coming back in the opposite direction. And this is literally, what is it, the second or third law of the thermodynamics? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This is literally what is called karma. Karma essentially just means whatever you do or whatever you think, you're going to experience more of it. See, now science tells us this. Whenever you focus your mind consciously on anything for 17 seconds, don't ask me why it's 17, that's what it is. Whatever you focus on for 17 seconds, it will be intensified in its sensations, feelings, and thoughts after the 17 seconds. So sit down and for 17 seconds, think about how your life is miserable. You're going to feel more miserable after the first 17 seconds. And this just keeps on happening and going on and going on. That's why sometimes we just go crazy and I'm like, I'm going crazy. I don't want to think about this anymore. And then you just distract yourself with your trusty, perfect addiction. Social media, phone, go on my phone, get like this quick jolt of dopamine, which is the feel-good hormone that just makes me feel like, oh, I just felt good. It wasn't, oh shit. That quick distraction, that instant satisfaction at the expense of dealing with the internal doubts and voices of fear for that delayed gratification, which is a lot more longer lasting. Instant satisfactions are very cheap. They're easy to experience, but they also disappear just as quick as they appear. So in essence, my conversation with you is this. The invitation to you is this. Whatever you think you're capable of, my friend, just go times 1,000, because you're considering so many thoughts of fear and lack of possibilities if things go wrong that you're not giving it your 100%. You're not giving it your all. You're not giving it everything I got. And everything you have in your life, which all of you have, everything, you have given it your all. Is it true that it hasn't occurred, it hasn't materialized? No way, it's not. You know, in your heart of hearts, whatever you set your heart and mind on, you have experienced it. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's getting that person to go on a date with me, if it's me, I have to do this and there is no way out of it. Whatever it is, when you set your heart on something, your mind will find a way, and if not, it will make the way, it will build the way. So don't be afraid by, am I doing something that's perfect? Is this excellent? Don't even think about those things. The most important thing is you're never going to be perfect. This is never going to be the best podcast. This is never going to be the best clinic that I'm going to make. This is going to be the best I'm capable of today. Today, I'm committing myself to come again and give you so much value, because I personally have made this commitment, and this is why the shift in mindset came finally after like 2 years of intending to do this daily community clinic. So for the longest time, I was thinking to myself so many why questions. Why am I doing it? Why is this even important? Why am I gonna spend my time where I'm making hundreds of dollars per hour to just come online and nobody is even gonna appreciate it? Oh, so many why questions. Nobody's even gonna watch this. Nobody's gonna care about it. Why am I gonna do this? I don't even have the right technology. I don't have the right tools. I don't have the right platforms. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the technical skills. I don't have ... So for 2 years, I told myself that. And I'm sure you right now are telling yourself that in some way, shape, or form in your own life. You could always snap it out for yourself when you feel like something resonates with you. And here's the thing. All the while that I was thinking, why not, why not, why not, I was just living inside my own head, thinking, will this be perceived as something of value? Will this be perceived as helpful? Will this actually make a difference? Am I going to be able to do something? Am I going to be able to actually provide information that's going to be able to serve somebody? I was doubting and doubting and doubting, and forgetting that the one and single most important thing that any human can do when they are abundant, when they find themselves, is to commit to go beyond themselves to serve. I had forgotten about that. Yes, I was 100% committed in my life every day, and I am, to serving whatever the world, the God, universe, life puts in front of me. I always step up and I always serve it. Everybody around me knows that. However, I had forgotten in my heart of hearts that I wasn't gonna take this any longer and sit and contemplate. And I was here to serve, even if that means one person. And I was like, you know what? Even if it means after 2 months of doing this, one person is going to get value out of this. That one person is one person who would not have been there otherwise. And for me, that's a fulfilled job. And so many of these episodes, as you know, by the way, Yasaman, thank you for coming onto this again. Glad you didn't wait for perfection. You are providing so much value. Thank you so much for seeing this. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you who are watching this without even interacting with us. I do encourage you to come and interact with us. I know on some of our YouTube and Facebook channels, I get your messages live. In other channels, like on Instagram, I don't see your messages here. So I just hope that the message resonates with you. I hope that it wakes you up to the truth that you are more than what you think you're worthy of. Please let that sink in. I want you to remember, you are more worthy of whatever it is that you think right now. You're more capable of whatever it is that you think right now. And by the way, things will always only get better as you learn through your mistakes. Is it ever possible to not fall down for a child before the child learns how to actually walk? No! At what point in our life did we pick up the idea that we should not make mistakes and failure is a bad occurrence? You know when? When we were actually disciplined for making mistakes growing up. This is the 60% of the 95% of our feelings, emotions, thoughts, and doings and not doings that I was telling you today is the same as it was yesterday, and it will be as it is today, tomorrow as well. 60% of that 95% comes from between the moment of inception of the embryo and the age of 7, where our brain frequencies are in theta. We are in theta brain frequencies, which means we are absolutely just absorbing information like a sponge. We don't care what it is. We just absorb that information. Have you ever seen, like, ever since I started studying the psychology of human development and consciousness within a few years ago, my sister actually ended up having a child. So now my niece is about 2 years old, love her. Just watching her react and absorb information from the perspective of knowing that she's in a theta brain's frequency and everything. By the way, between the ages of conception to the ages of 4, we are in high theta, we're like in low theta, which means we are literally like a recording machine, just recording so much information without even understanding what we are actually pulling in. We don't know if it's good or bad. As the parents keep on telling us no, 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 boundaries start setting up. No, don't do that. No, don't touch this. No, don't say that. Our boundaries are starting to shape in terms of what is right, what is acceptable, and what is wrong. And we keep on pushing the boundaries as humans. But the point is, our boundaries, our borders, our definitive borders as adults today are defined when we are not even old enough to even understand what it is that we are ascribing ourselves to and we are accepting to be the truth. I want you to understand the ramifications of what I'm discussing with you. That means that everything you think today is right or wrong has a base at a point of your life, doesn't matter whether you think it's right or wrong, that you had no control over the beliefs that were instilled within you and me. And what today we are experiencing life as is 100% a direct result of those foundational and core modalities, beliefs, submodalities that drive our second-to-second decisions in terms of, is what I'm doing right or is it wrong? Is what I'm doing, by the way, the question was, how do we get to the point of thinking and feeling failure is to be avoided, and therefore we should not do anything that will be possibly even putting us on the map of failure, came about when we felt like significance and being noticed and being praised is more important than tapping into our self-worth and authenticity. So we started essentially becoming these lame ducks of pretending to be things that we are not getting pleasure by them just because it would get us approval by the society, by school, by parents, by family, by all of these things. Pretending that I want to study something because my parents always said that's the way to go. In Asian families, in Middle Eastern families, this is a huge foundational thing that in the Western world, it's not really as much of a thing. That's like a different paradigm. So people that are born in Middle East, in Asian families, they know that there's always this high expectation of parents for the child to be what the parent could never have been. And most of those parents through generations have told us that the way to do this is through education, is through actually getting those grades up. So then you have now generations of students, of kids that have grown up just to please their parents, just to get the approval and the love and connection of the parents, studied so hard, got into a path such as engineering, medicine, anything that they're not excited about. But it was what their parents wanted them. The parents wanted the child to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, something, because the parents thought that I couldn't be that myself. If I could, my life would have been so much better. Therefore, I'm going to make sure that I motivate and entice and reward my child, so my child actually does what I was supposed to do and I didn't. Therefore, our life today is not good, because they're focusing on what is not right with their life and what they needed to do. So many hypotheses that are not even true, but the importance is they instill within us, growing up, this imaginary person that would have a good ideal outcome, would be happy, would be more happy about life had we done what they didn't do. So that's why you have generations of kids that are now growing up, especially between the ages of 30 to 45, 50, where they are not living happy or authentic because they were pretending to be so many things that they are really not, just because they wanted that love and approval. That's why the midlife crisis, by the way, is such a massive phenomenon. Because all these people come to a point where they're like, holy shit, well, midlife, my 50s, my parents are probably not around. So all that love and approval I wanted is not here anymore. Doesn't even matter what I am or I'm not. And I'm not even happy because I'm doing shit every day, waking up in the morning and going to sleep. That is not making me happy. And now there is that what we talked about, the illusion of depression that comes and haunts us, which is essentially whatever the blueprint of my happiness and my life is to me, what I feel like I should be, I am worthy of experiencing, that's called my life's blueprint, and where I feel like I am today. The further these two are from one another is the absolute more intensity of the state of illusion of depression. And Payam is here saying, can I join? Yes, you can. You can join. And the way to do it is to, Payam, if you want to do that, send a text message to, where is the phone number here? Is this it? Let's see. Yes, because if you remember, guys, the whole point of this event is to these lives is for us to, no, it's not here either. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to actually put the number, text 807-6999978. Perfect. Just one moment, everybody. I'm going to have Payam join us. For the link to participate live. All right. Participate live. Yes. So this is exactly what I was trying to tell you. The reason, and whenever Payam joins us, and by the way, guys, before actually, what am I doing? I gotta get this off and add this one here. Perfect. The reason we don't do things in our lives that are super obvious to us are these deeply rooted fears. And that's all I want you to take away from this. And these fears are not even your fears. They're the fears of our parents. They're the fears of our generations before us that just put that within us, that just instilled that within us. Yes, this is absolutely the truth. And today's message, if nothing else, revolves around this one fact. I want you to understand that if you're not experiencing the life that you deserved and that you want, that's because you're living inside some fear loops of your generations before that are not even yours. See, what you develop as a human being as your fears change over time. What you're afraid of today is not the same as what it was that you were afraid of years ago. It is not definitely the same as what you were afraid of when you were 8 years old. I remember I didn't want to sleep in a room that was dark when I was 8 years old. I didn't want to sleep in a dark room. Now I love the dark. I actually appreciate the difference, while, as you can see, most of my episodes are shot outdoors because I always want to get as much sun as possible without applying SPF. Yes, real sun, without blocking the good part of it, because that's the only reason you want to absorb the sun. While I want to absorb the sun as much as possible, and I travel the world, and I'm so blessed that I get to be abundantly living life always in places where it's sunny, despite the fact that I should be in Toronto right now in minus 25 degrees and massive snowstorm today. I am living in Florida for the past few months. And before that, we were in other parts of this beautiful planet, always trying to stay in a warm place. Why did I do this? Because I got the fear of we can't do that out of my own mind, my friend. That's so important, because until I didn't face that fear about 3 years ago, when COVID came and gifted me the opportunity to go delve deep, to go into my states of illusions of depression and come face to face with why I was actually not feeling content with my beautiful life that was otherwise magnificent. I didn't know why I was upset and just hurt. It was because to everybody else, and by the way, when I was talking to people around me after I got through that illusion of state of depression, for 4 years I was in it so bad. So many people didn't know. They were like, how's that even possible? You were like performing, you were doing so many different things, you were bringing joy to so many different people. The thing is, most people don't know when others are in a state of depression. I keep on bringing this up. Robert Williams, the actor, always remember him. He committed suicide, and he was one of the top comedy actors of our time, loved by almost everybody. Who didn't like Robert Williams? Made everybody laugh. He took his own life. So please understand what I'm trying to tell you. A lot of the times it doesn't look like, because we like to keep the appearance that we are good, we are strong, we're resilient, just to be able to get other people's approval. Because nobody wants to be Derek the Downer, or Dick the Downer. Oh, pun intended. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to be that person, because nobody wants to be around that person. By the way, isn't that true that misery always wants company? Whenever you have miserable people, you see them hang out with each other, and they all like play the victim game, and everybody wants to just out-victim each other. Oh, you don't know what happened to me. Oh, that's nothing. You don't know what happened in my life. Do you know that in the most affluent parts of society, there is no such thing as that? once you level up, once you put yourself in proximity of, and Payam, by the way, I put the text message phone number above. I don't know why it hasn't come yet. I don't see it here, is it? The 807. Oh yeah, there it is. 807-6999978. Anybody that wants to talk to us, you could text this phone number, and you're gonna get a participation link. So the link will come to you, and you can just come on and join us live. I want you to understand this, my friend, that what you're holding in your own mind from yourself, from achieving, is only an illusion that stands on the shoulder of all the lacks, doubts, and fears that are not yours, and they were put into our minds as kids growing up. That's all I want you to remember. Texted you just now. Perfect. So we're gonna have Payam join us for a conversation, and yeah, let's go live with this. Until then, I just want to give you a little bit of more information. But since this is supposed to be for business growth, before Payam joins us and we go live on handling just whatever comes up and just having a talk with him, I want to actually show you a quick video from a brilliant mind that I absolutely admire. And that is, where is my video? Come on, where did you go? Oh, interesting, my video is not coming up. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So we don't find the video, that's not a problem. We will continue with our talk, and let's actually go over one business question that we had, because we want to talk about money, we want to talk about growth, and we have so many questions that are coming from you guys. Until Payam joins us, and then we actually can talk. Let's jump on some questions. So we have a question here. Stick around, guys, by the way, because when we do these lives and when we answer these questions, this applies to all of you, all of your business states. Doesn't matter where you are. If you want to make more money for your own business or for somebody else's business, which means you're going to get rewarded for it. See, that's how you make, by the way, money. Everybody asks, how can I make more money? The way you make money is just by doing two things: either providing value, which is allowing the opportunity for other people to make money, or bringing them value by allowing them to save time. Those are the two ways. No, the wired one. Huh? The wired one. Thank you. Those are the two ways that you actually can bring wealth and abundance into your life. The moment you realize that when you actually get to save people time, for the people who have more than $100 per hour worth of income, which there are a lot of people, thank you. A lot of people have more than that amount of money that they make. Now, if you can actually bring these people a solution where they could earn back their time, this is one of the biggest spending habits of the wealthy people. And by the way, you want to have wealthy clients. If you own a business, you should be in the business of serving the because the more they are, then that means the more you could provide them value, that they have the ability to reciprocate you with their money. I keep on saying this to you. I want you to take note of this. The wealthy people pay money to earn back their time. They buy time with money. The poor people buy money with their time. Which one are you doing? The answer is very obvious on where you're spending your space and your time and your energy. That's what. Are you right now exchanging your time for money, or are you exchanging your money for your time? That means you're either rich or you're poor. And I don't mean wallet. There are a lot of people in the millions and millions of income that are still poor because they grind themselves in patterns that they have figured to be effective to make them money, yet because they don't know how to intelligently set up systems, they become an employee that is overworked and underpaid. Doesn't matter how much they pay themselves, and they experience a life that actually brings not fulfillment but separation to them. Separation from themselves, their health, separation from family, separation from their kids, partner. So it's not a fulfilling life. So I want you to understand, if you haven't read Rich Dad Poor Dad, it's probably one of the best reads you're ever going to have. I want you to look into Rich Dad Poor Dad and read that book. That book will literally change your perception on reality, which means it can immediately create a change in your life. Let's see. Well, I'm going to be sending our link to Payam right now. Add a guest. Here we go. Okay, so while we are waiting, I want to answer one question. Let me do this because I really want to answer a few of your questions. So many of you lovely people are asking questions, and I feel bad we don't answer them. Yesterday, by the way, we had a huge internet outage, so I couldn't come up, despite the fact that I went to the library trying to catch us on time, but I got there too late anyways, and we didn't have time. So today, I want to answer some of these questions. Mr. David Fisher, he actually is making small batch hot sauce in New Orleans. Oh, artisanal food product. Oh, you had me at hot sauce. I love hot sauce. I Star, my partner, at one point used to tell me, if you could, you would get spicy eye drops and put it in your eyes. That's how much I love the hot sauce. But now I have to stop having spicy stuff as it's not working as well with my system. So we make an award-winning hot sauce, David says, but distribution is our biggest challenge. We are in a few local stores, but national retailers require production at scale we can't afford yet. Should we bootstrap, take on investors, or focus on direct-to-consumer growth first? Very good point. I would honestly tell you that bootstrapping, taking on investors, is definitely not a good idea. I think, personally speaking, especially with the food and packaged consumer goods, there is such a small margin where you want to actually be able to maximize your return on investment. And when you bring in investors, A, they're going to want a big chunk for it to be worth their time. And B, for you to give away that, you're giving a big part of your equity, which is your hard work and blood, sweat, and tears, which is not going to actually be effective for your future. Probably the best way for hot sauces, if you're not already doing this, I know you said you're in a few local stores, is to actually hit up more local, for example, organic stores, health stores, and showing up to festivals. Any festivals where people show up, you could show up and do free samplings and sell on the spot. But what I want you to do, David, is not to sell the hot sauce, sell subscriptions, because people who enjoy your hot sauce and love it, instead of selling them a hot sauce, tell them that if one bottle is going to cost you $10, you could give me, if one bottle is $15 because it's small hand batch made products, give us $10 a month and we're going to send you a new bottle every month. I want you to put them on subscription models so that when you do the customer acquisition once, you don't have to go through this process of every time selling to them again, and again. This way, you're actually raising your LTV, which is your lifetime of the value that the customer brings to your business. And you're still doing the same for acquisitions. So I would even make them more expensive for one-time purchases. I'll make like one-time purchase $20, or if you want, pay $10 a month, and then I'll send you a bottle. I don't know, work something in terms of a deal, but you understand what I'm saying. Go through $100 million offers of Alex Hormozi. He actually tells you a lot about how to actually structure an irresistible offer. You could also obviously consult with ChatGPT. AI is what I keep on bringing back to the conversation. You must converse and consult with GPT as different characters with smart prompting so you get quality answers, okay? Don't just give one question, take the answer and run away with it in your business. That's the worst thing you can do, by the way. Okay, Payam is with us. Let's see if we could bring Payam in the room and say hi to Payam.
Well, hello, Bliss.
Well, hello, Payam. How are you doing?
On the verge of being madness, never been better. Thank you for asking.
That's absolutely amazing. Thank you for showing up today. How are you? Actually, I was just wondering, maybe we should get you to change your camera's angle.
Camera's angle, okay.
Yes, like put it in the other mode, horizontal, so I could have you on a full screen. Or you know what? Whatever. No, keep it the way it was. Keep it the way it was. That was perfect. So how are you doing, Payam? What's going on? What's life like? What's alive within you today? And what are you experiencing?
Well, every time I'm actually opening up things, it's experiencing in very linear things. Funny that you mentioned. I opened my Instagram page this morning and it was about Robin Williams, and Fariba was talking about Robin Williams, and now you're talking about it. And it all comes to something that's actually is all connected. It's not something that we take it just, oh, it's just a log and anything. And I think we had this conversation with each other the other day. I was in your office, that once you just think of something and just comes directly happening, it's just beautiful. And it's happening every day, every time. I'm actually just thinking of something either same day or the next it happens. And by the way, thanks to Lenny that let me in. So it was very fun.
Oh, you spoke with Lenny, huh? With our AI.
Yeah, I was actually busy talking to that one. That's why it took a little while to get the link and all.
Of course. I'm glad you enjoyed your conversation with our AI assistant, Lenny. This is a great experiment that we're trying to do, and I'm happy because me and you talk a lot, and not on one of these lives yet. This is the first, but we do talk a lot here and there on how to kick things to the next level and how to actually bring life to the level that you want it, and kind of go to the deeper levels. What do you? It deepens now aligned. it depends on how aligned, I think that's what she means. It depends on how aligned you are with universe. That's what you were saying about like these things that are happening in the same day and you're experiencing more of these patterns. I think that's what she's referring to, which is true, because the more you're aligned and the more you're tuned in, obviously the more you're gonna notice them. It's not that they're not happening as much, it's just you notice them more. You're more present. So Payam, what are you doing? What's exciting in life? How do we break you through to the next level? What needs to happen for you to break through to the next level, wherever you're at?
Well, you already made me to walk in that direction. Basically, walk into directions that just I was listening to you as we were told, just study this, do that, but that formula never works all the time. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the fact that you just have to look beyond what's that's actually been told and what's actually at stake right now. It's AI. When it was told it's not working, it's everything, it's destructive, you now see it's actually working there, and it's still progressing, still gonna progress a lot more. So once you just walk in the direction of what's happening, instead of just staying put and just blocking it and not basically going through with it, that's when everything starts to happen.
That's right. Good job.
And
Wise.
first thing that you taught me was to allow yourself to go through the opposite direction of your beliefs.
Yes, yes.
You remember
Actually,
that?
that's a great point, because there are literally a few steps that we call them. These are the pillars of the life, the quality of the life that we experience. And if you remember, we were talking about this. One of the most distinguished pillars that actually creates the life that we are and aren't experiencing today is our willingness to embrace change. So most humans actually fight change at any expense and cost. So most humans want to actually try to do anything to avoid change. Oh, change is painful. I can't change. It's not easy to change. They use these words actually. It's hard to change. Change is hard. And on the contrary, when you study success patterns in the most successful people on the history of humanity, you will notice that the ones who were visionaries, the ones who were true leaders, are the ones that were not only comfortable with change, they actually embraced it. They loved change. They wanted to create that state of unknown to experience and explore the possibilities. And that's
And,
so true what you just said too. Yeah.
and they accepted the fact that it might actually be in their worst of interest, but they go with it anyways because they can't fight the change. Change will happen. But you said also something very interesting the other day. You said, well, change, I mean, pain is inevitable, but change is what's actually is
No, pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice,
is a
and
choice.
change is inevitable. Growth is a choice.
That's a very beautiful line.
That's right. It's very powerful once you understand it, because people are fighting change, like you just said, and until you're fighting it, it's like the dog that's trying to chase its own tail. You're never going to be able to actually even catch it. And even if you do, you just bit your own tail, which means you didn't actually achieve anything. You're going to be in more pain. So essentially, change is always constantly happening. Life is actually change. This is what people don't understand. Change is life. Stillness is death. Even water, which is the element of life, when it sits, it turns into a pond, and a pond actually ends up harboring not life, but so much bacteria and so much. If you drink from it, you're poisoned and you die. So that clear fresh water cannot sit and still serve you as a source of life. Movement is what keeps everything alive. Seasons, times, temperature, your life, happiness, sadness. As a matter of fact, the Buddhists have a concept. They call it anicca. So anicca means um, ever moving, like evolving, passing. They say that life is anicca. Everything is anicca. If you're happy, they say anicca, like it will go. Don't worry. Don't hold on to happiness. It's gonna go. If you're sad, don't hold on to sadness. It's gonna go. If you're up, don't hold on to that feeling of I'm up at the top of my life. It's gonna go. You're gonna go back to the down and you're gonna keep going back up. If you're down, don't hold on to it and say, I am so fucked, I'm so screwed, my life is so horrible. Everything is always passing and is evolving, and nothing stays the same. Now, when we try to fight change, we are essentially keeping ourselves in a state of suffering, because we associate change with pain, and then whatever pain is staying and repeating, it becomes suffering. And now, just by the mere fact of avoiding change, we start suffering instead of just embracing it and turning it into growth. So it becomes such a huge, profound moment when it actually is, like, when you just understand how easy it is to grow. So people, and here's, by the way, the funny thing, everybody wants to grow, nobody wants to change.
Thank you, thank you. I was gonna just say that one. Yeah,
So
you want the
everybody wants
omelet, but
to
you don't want
grow.
to break the eggs. Yeah, that's very logical.
That's right. You want to have the omelet, but you don't want to break the eggs. Like, you can't do that, my friend. You gotta put some skin into the game. You gotta say, if you're gonna go take a dip in the pool, yes, you're gonna get wet. It's a part of the deal. You can't say I'm gonna go swimming without getting wet. Change is a part of growth, and you want to actually grow. And by the way, this is what happens in businesses too. I mean, it's so interesting. So, like, we have a lot of our business clients that come to us, like, they're capped at like 500,000 income, they're capped at 1 million income, they're capped at 100,000 income. They cannot go beyond it. You know why? It's because they're not changing with the business. So the plateau that every business actually ends up hitting is literally the plateau of the owner.
Thank you.
It's not that your business industry is not capable of pulling in more, because I could show you 200 other businesses in your industry that are killing it, that are in the millions and millions. It's just that you, as the operator, as the owner, are not capable in your 95% of your thinking, feelings, and doings to actually break to the next level, which is why, by the way, this is where the shameless plug comes in. That's why we do breakthrough consulting. So the idea of breakthrough consulting is that wherever you are stuck in your life, and we've done this with each other many times, you know that wherever you're stuck in your life, which is always somewhere, right now I'm stuck in somewhere in my life, and I get external breakthrough consulting because essentially you cannot read the label of the bottle when you're inside the bottle. It's just impossible. Not possible. It's just not possible. And the people around you, your wife, your husband, your mother, your sister, your brother, your friends, they're not trained to, without bias, pick out patterns that are serving you and the patterns that you need, and support you to get more of those so you get to where you want to. They're not trained for that.
Exactly.
And the thing is, even when they're trained, so for example, like me and Star, we're both trained in how to do breakthrough consulting, yet we cannot do it with each other because we are partners. When you're living with someone, when you look at someone as your wife, as your husband, as your sister, as your mother, as your child, the conversation is not the same as if it came through somebody else.
There you go.
Right? It just, like, so many times in my own life, my mom told me something so many times. I knew it to be true. I just didn't take it. I'm like, nope. Because you're probably still trying to control me with the same thoughts, with the same minds that you raised me at. Therefore, at this moment, I do not want to actually entertain it. I want to have a third perspective from a person that has my wellness in mind, because their wellness, their own well-being is connected to my success and well-being. and they're there to actually be unbiased. That is the most important thing. So many times we go to even therapists and
Mhm.
they're just trying to stay on our good side and they're not poking deep enough. If a breakthrough consultant, if a consultant doesn't make you angry, that means you're not with the right person.
Uncomfortable. Yes. Yes. You.
Because with anger, we can find, as pattern recognition experts, oh, look at that, we just found a pattern that needs to be addressed. If you're not angry, that means if you're not emotional, if you're not breaking down, if you're not crying, if you're not sad, if you don't go deep enough, that means you're always staying superficial. I have a client that I was speaking with. She was going through cancer recovery, open heart surgery, blood issues, so many issues. And I want to tell you this. She said, I've been working with a life coach trying to help me with my deep emotional suppressions that I know have caused all of these, and they were not able to help me. You know why they weren't able to help her? Because they weren't going deep enough, because they weren't either pushing because they were afraid that they lose the customer and they get them angry, or they didn't know how to handle it when they go deep enough, and the pus and the chair chimische, the infection
Infected.
starts coming out, and then they go like, okay, I'm not going to push hard, we're just going to do these sessions. And that's why people go to like therapists for years and they're not getting results.
And not only one, two, three, four, five
Two,
different
three,
ones.
exactly. I myself went to 5 different psychologists when I was going through my own thing, and none of them were able to actually even remotely put me on the right path of actually, without having band-aid solutions, find the actual solution to the why I was even feeling pain, let alone just what to do with the pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Different conversation.
This
But that's why,
person-
for example, in breakthrough consulting, in NLP, if somebody is good, you don't need to do more than 1 session to get over any pain. It's so important to say. If somebody is good, 1, 2, 3 sessions max, and one core issue can be actually looked after. And I want you all to understand, if you're watching this, if you have any internal pains, any internal things that you're trying to avoid in your life, emotional suppression, you can find the right people that can help you in 3 sessions most. If they're not really at the point of their own mastery of their game, maybe five sessions. I even heard of 7 sessions. But this can all happen in a matter of 2 weeks, and boom, you're it. That's it. You're a new person after that.
Thank you
So
very much.
don't settle. Always be grateful. Don't settle. Payam, you came here and we didn't even talk about. Did you want to talk about anything specific, or did you just come to be good sports and say hi?
I came to be a good sport, say hi, and just follow up the conversation.
Thank you so much for doing that, because we've already been doing this for an hour and we are over our hour.
Exactly. That's that one.
So you're seeing that too, huh? So
Yep.
next time you guys are in, if you're anybody watching this like Payam, you want to join us, just message us and we'd be more than happy to have you join us. We'd be more than absolutely glad to have you join us and get on these conversations where we could talk about you, and we could talk about how you can grow your business, your life, your intimate life, your income, your wealth, whatever it is that you want, because we are literally committing ourselves to you once every day, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And today's session was beautiful, and we had a first guest. Thank you, Payam, for coming by.
Yeah. And
That
it's
is
always a
actually
pleasure to see you, and it's always great to see you doing what you do.
thank you, Payam. We had the claps going too. Thank you for coming by. And everybody else, this is it for today. I want to say bye to you until tomorrow, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 12 p.m. If you're free, definitely hop on one of these calls. And yes, 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 let's talk, and let's serve you so that you can absolutely get whatever it is that you need, so that you could break through to your next level of life. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. We love you all, and have a
On
great
behalf
day
of
until
everyone,
tomorrow.
thank you, Bliss.
Thank you, Bayo. Appreciate you.
Thank you. See you around. Thank you. See you
See you,
tomorrow.
brother. Take care. See you, brother.
Bye.
Bye bye.